You're listening to the Artist Athlete episode ? This week, I'm doing something a little different because I have a lot of stuff going on. I'm either launching an online course right now or I'm on a visa run to Cambodia. Who knows where I am in the world? I don't even know. But I do know that this week, I am offering a little celebration to my Patreons for hitting the $500 mark. Jen Crane of CirquePhysio decided that it would be fun to interview me. And so, if you are a Patreon, which means you have gone to www.patreon.com/theartistathlete and pledged even $1 a month, you can listen to the full interview. But I thought I'd give the general public, all you users out there, and that'll make a little more sense once you listen to the episode. I'm not trying to offend anyone. I thought I would give you guys an opportunity to listen in. So, enjoy this episode. Derek, cue the epic music.
This podcast is dedicated to CIRCUS. It's a place for professionals in the industry. Okay, wait. I don't know how you do this. This is the worst. This podcast is dedicated to CIRCUS. It's a place for professionals in the industry to share their stories, viewpoints, and information, and a place for outsiders to get a sneak peek into our world. Hey friends, fans, and enemies, I'm not Shannon McKenna. I'm not the host of this show, and I'm definitely not the founder of theartistathlete.com. My guest today is Shannon McKenna, who's all of those things. Hi Shannon, welcome to the show.
Hi Jen, thanks for having me. It's such an honor to be here.
The pleasure is all mine.
Dude, I love saying that.
Does everyone always say that? They say like, thanks for having me. But it's always kind of awkward because we talked before. And so I'll be like, welcome to the podcast. They're like, thanks. Oh shit, this is where I thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
You've had a really big year.
It has been a big year.
You just had a really exciting anniversary. Why don't you tell the users at home a little bit?
Well, users, whatever you're using.
Sounds like they're heroin users.
Yeah.
We don't know.
No, we don't know. Hopefully not. If you are a heroin user, please seek help. There will be a hotline in the show notes for you.
Do I have to put that there now?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Thanks. What was the question? This happens a lot on the show too, is we'll just start bullshitting and then we'll be like, what is the question? When was my anniversary?
Yeah, no, tell the users and the listeners at home.
What
anniversary you just had?
So I just had the anniversary of the day that you and I met in Atlanta, and you were teaching workshops there, and I had just gotten back from Germany. And you were like, you should write an ebook and start a podcast and have a company. I think you'd be really good at it. And I was like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I'm never going to do any of those things. And then I did. But it's the anniversary of that.
And now this is where you tell everyone that I was right. I think that's what comes next.
Jen was right.
That's the logical next.
Jen was right. You should always listen to your PT. Mm-hmm. Full compliance is important.
Full compliance.
It really does great things for your life when you listen to your PT.
Yeah.
Especially about business, apparently.
Especially business advice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how do you feel like the past year has gone?
It's had its ups and its downs. No, I think it's gone really, surprisingly well. It's been kind of scary and weird, but definitely, this podcast has been incredible and, a big surprise. I didn't realize how much I would love doing it, how much I would love talking to people, how many people would be excited about it. I was like, there's going to be, 10 people listening to it, and one of them's going to be my mom, so.
And the other one's going to be me.
Exactly. Yeah. So overall, I feel like the year has gone amazing. I've been really, really excited.
So I have a whole list of questions.
I cannot wait because I'm so curious about them.
From the lovely participants of our retreat. So for all of you users.
It makes me think of Strangers with Candy. Did you ever watch that show with Amy Sedaris? Oh, I don't remember. No, she doesn't go undercover. She's like a high school dropout who gets addicted to heroin. At the beginning of every episode, she goes, I was a boozer, a user, and a loser. Just makes me think of that.
So for all you boozers, losers, and users at home, Shannon and I are in Thailand right now, teaching at an aerial retreat.
Yeah.
We're sitting here, what is it, day 8 of 10 right now? 8 of 10. Day 8 of 10. Almost done. And I have been collecting questions from all of our lovely participants.
So curious.
There's some really good ones here. Oh, this is actually a good one.
Okay.
Which I'm also curious about.
Oh.
So Joyce.
I feel like you know everything about me. How could you be curious about
it? I think I don't know that we've talked about this before.
Okay.
But I think that this is something unique to where you have come to in your branding and in your social media presence.
Okay.
How do you mentally separate this brand that you've created and the artist athlete and your social media presence from who you are and how you identify as a person as an artist? And is there a big difference there?
No, there's no difference at all. There's actually, if anything, social media and this kind of work has helped me clarify who I am and made me feel more like the artist and the person I am than anything. I don't separate at all. There are things like now that I've got more followers and I know that I'm building it, I'm more careful of who in my family. My mother actually loves being on Instagram. She gets the biggest kick out of it. She's a guest star on some of my stories
adorable.
Sometimes. She's hilarious. She's so funny. She's crazy, but she's so funny. But other people in my life, I would never show my brother or other people without their consent on my stories. But aside from that, I pretty much will write anything, and I'm just kind of nah.
That's really interesting. It'll be interesting to see, because that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
From at least, my perspective.
Yeah. But I've never been a person, I'm not a very private person, I just don't.
You're just loud, and you're out there, and you're kind of a lot.
I just don't hold a lot that very, special, or not that I don't think that I'm not special. I'm so special.
You're a snowflake, Shannon.
I'm a special snowflake.
A loud one.
But I think that everybody has the right to be a special snowflake.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So there's no separation.
That's really cool. I mean, it sounds either super healthy or super unhealthy.
I know, right?
Right.
But, I know, but what would be, I guess it would only be unhealthy because sometimes I post things and they are a bit more personal and people don't like them as much or they don't get as many likes. But I never feel as badly if those don't get as much likes as when I post sequences on fabric and they don't get as many likes. So why'd y'all hate that?
Yeah.
Is my split not good enough for you? That was a really clever thing I just did and nobody appreciated it or something like that.
And then you can just be like, oh yeah, I posted at the wrong time. It was totally because no one's online on that. Tuesdays at 8 a.m.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. So you kind of talked a little bit about what you want artistically this next year, but what does that look like for where you want to perform at, or what's your ideal performing situation?
I don't know that I have one anymore. I'm more interested in the work I'm making and I'm more interested in how to share it. I'm looking at what's happening across live performance everywhere and how people are interacting with it versus the spread of YouTube and social media and those kinds of things. And I think in the next year, I'm really interested in making something that's video friendly more than it is for live performance. Mm-hmm. Not that it can't be performed live, and I love performing live. I love live performance. But in the next year, I think that's more where I want to gear my efforts.
Yeah.
Because it can reach more people and give me more opportunities as well.
Yeah. So what performance or what act or what artist have you noticed in the past year or so that's inspired that, or that you saw someone perform, or a video of someone performing, or an act that you were like, that's really interesting, I want to kind of
I actually haven't seen it.
shift more?
I haven't seen what I'm thinking of doing. There's a lot of really cool filmmakers out there. I went to school for theater with a very, very reputable film department. And so a lot of my friends who are making films now are making really cool, like, these things that are, in circus, it's really common to have an act that's one long shot. But how do you do that? But we don't really want to watch that, or I don't actually like to watch, like, acts anymore in the same way, unless it's a really great concept or something that really travels, takes you on a journey. But I do like filmmakers who tell their story through camera. So I think that what I'm interested in is finding someone like Matt Hooks or my friend Felix in LA, or somebody like that who's really telling those stories through camera and looking at how we collaborate in an aerial setting. I'm also working with my friend Nolan Kramer back in Atlanta, who's a DJ and does music production. And we're working on things where, like, they'll attach motion sensors to my body, and then I go up and do something, and those motion sensors are attached to, like, a synthesizer, so it makes sound.
Cool.
Yeah, and we want to incorporate that
awesome.
with live performance. So a lot of, like, how does technology and live performance kind of talk to each other? That's, like, a realm that I'm really interested in.
So you could create, so like if you did like a micro bend in your knee, that would make a specific sound.
Right, exactly.
The sound of the micro bend.
Oh my God, it would be like a... You just peaked out the audio. Yeah. So that's what I see in the next year, is like less of that. Mm-hmm. Which is weird, because then I don't know what my ideal performance looks like.
Mm-hmm. That's cool though, because it's more, I mean, it's more about the art, and that's...
Yeah, totally.
That seems really... Like, it'll be a really interesting journey, because I can't even imagine what that would look like, and how that would be so different from every other performing, kind of the standard, right, circus performances that are already out there.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I already know what that leads to. You know, like if you do that, you can get to a certain point. But I kind of did that, and I got to a point, and I was kind of realizing, like, oh, that's not really where my interests lie. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to just go back and do that again.
Yeah.
You know?
Interesting. So
I want to hear more questions.
I know.
I'm so curious. Jen continued to ask me a ton of great questions. It was a super fun interview. But if you want to hear the rest of it, you have to become a Patreon. Patreon.com/theartistathlete is the website. For more training tips and information, you can follow me on Instagram @theartistathlete. My website is theartistathlete.com. And I'm on Facebook, The Artist Athlete. Next week, we'll be coming back with more full-length interviews for you. I promise I won't do this to you every week. But it was super fun to get to kind of reflect and be in the hot seat for a moment. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will talk at you later, friends, fans, and enemies.